la nostra università un ambiente calmo e tranquillo, fino a quando arrivano le elezioni studentesche. Allora lì è guerra, tutti contro tutti, per chi riuscirà a prevalere sull'altro. E qual è la nostra soluzione? Pochi secondi di tempo ciascuno e 2 temi da affrontare. Chi ne sarà vincitore? O forse meglio dire, chi sopravviverà alla gabbia dei leoni?
Hi everyone, I'm Ilinka and I am a VM rep. I've been rep last year as well, class rep, and in February I've been appointed as a representative in the CASA committee, which is the committee that deals with all the approval of events and fundings for the activities organized in our university by the students and in particular by the associations.
Hello everyone, I'm Martina Giametta. I'm a first year master student and I'm running for the ISU committee with Astra, and I've been a residence representative for the last 2 years and for this year. That's it.
We have received on the group chat this message that is saying that the introduction of the turnstile is going to happen very soon. And we all got pretty shocked. I'm going to be honest, in our residence, this message didn't even appear. I heard this from the other residences. When I asked the rep of my residence why we didn't get this text, I was thinking that our residence will be an exception to this, but he said that, no, actually it's not. I just wanted to wait for a bit more, whatever. And my question here, I just want to understand how this is even an option. I feel like there are so many other things that are wrong at this point of time with the residences, like the basic fact that we had very many ways to move from the residences to university with micro mobility services like bikes that we don't have anymore. We had gyms we don't have anymore. The prices are increasing by 7, 8, 9% every year, while the inflation rate in Italy is now more than 2 or 3% max. There are so many things that are wrong, and yet this is what our university is proposing to us to do in the residences. We would like to have the introduction of more services, and we would like a facilitation of what we do in our residence, maybe with an app that includes different services like the emailing of a notification when packages arrive, or the signatures process when you have to sign in your residence. As you know, you've been needed that very much requested by the students, especially during the exam seasons. So with all these things that could be done, our question is how come that this is what our university comes up with? And I just would like to have some clarifications on that, and what would be your plan? How did we come to this point?
First thing first, I agree that we have other problems in the residences. That's why I'm working for my residence, and that's why I want to work for the ISU committee. But the turnstiles have been proposed as an extra service for students and for residences for a matter of safety. And most of all, the meetings are with all the representatives. And when some representatives are not there, there are others. So we have 2 ISU representatives in the ISU committee, but you have 1. And I'm not sure that you ask your ISU representatives this kind of things. I mean, I am a candidate right now. I've been informed, and I got to be informed of these things. And I agree that this should be a little bit shocking for students. And maybe your representatives weren't that clear in explaining what's happening, because it's a things that needs to be also developed. Also in the beginning, they told us that it's not a really simple things to get into and to be implemented. So I know that it can be a little bit shocking for a lot of students, but it's not what the ISU representatives want to do. I mean, it's not that ISU representative wants to get students not feeling at home, or not feeling what they do as a fair initiatives. So basically, I don't think that turnstiles can be.
So as you were saying, the university is probably considering this introduction of the turnstiles like an extra service they are going to offer to the people who live in the EleBocconi residences. But at this point, I think the best way to kind of fight this proposal would be to make the university understand that this money that we want to invest in this thing could be invested in a different way, probably a better way. And I point this out very much because it's something that when I talk to people around, when I talk to people who live in the residences, they address me this point because they say, oh, I got this piece of information, I got this piece of news. And I feel like me running, like you, the first thing we should do in case we get in the committee would be addressing the issues that are very current, that are something that the students want to know.
I agree. The money could be spent in some other ways, but that's a thing that needed to be done. That's thing that's needed to be done. Me as a residents representatives and the other residents representatives are trying to understand this kind of things. It's not a proposal. It's just a thing that needs to be done. So we all are addressing all this, the issues that's gonna get with this kind of situation. But I mean, problems needs to be solved and communication is key. So it's important to let students understand why is that important and why this is going to be done. Basically, we know that for the various kind of scholarship that EleBocconi offers and EleBocconi issues, there are some deadlines to confirm all the benefits and to let students access the next year benefits. What is the problem? The problem is that for various scholarships that we have, there are various deadlines and they are really similar, kind of say, for the various courses. And that's not fair. I propose the example of masters and bimesters because for bimesters, we just have a shift of exam, and then we do not have a session in July. So it's really difficult to have the deadline to be respected in August. So what we think could help students is to have a tolerance or maybe help in some other ways when deadlines cannot be postponed students in order to maintain the benefit and not losing it for just some credits. What we want to also to propose was to help students in maintaining this benefits for what concerns residences, because also for residences we have different deadlines to maintain the room and to maintain the benefits, mostly if we have a preferential rate students in residences. So that's what we want to propose. We want to help students in maintaining all the benefits, regardless the kind of scholarship that EleBocconi offers, and the cash benefit that goes with the scholarships.
So I definitely agree that sometimes the deadlines are not very clear. I have a very practical and simple example of that. Last year I was studying in, it was probably at the middle of end of June in my residence in Islamstorf, and I was in the ghetto. A student came from the tower. He was my classmate and told me, "Oh, I think I saw you studying. I just wanted to ask you, do you know that if I take this exam, if I manage to keep the residence, or if I lose it, I don't know. I didn't understand very well. So there's definitely an issue." And I even got texts about this from like friends. I think a way that we could be used to solve this would be an increased transparency from the university regarding this. So maybe sending an email to the students on Outlook, basically, something very simple, or a notification on USB, whatever it is, to all the students that are in my residences, and give specificities for every course with the exams that should take in order to be able to keep the residence.
Feel like what do you think about the ex-ante evaluation of credits to stay in residence?
Well, I think it's definitely something that I'm not the one. I don't think I'm the one answering for this. For me, it wasn't a problem. I didn't struggle with getting to the credits. So I think the best way to answer this would be doing maybe a survey all around the residences to see how many students actually struggle with that, to see if it's a problem or not. And again, I told you with this friend of mine, he was definitely in a crisis because of this. In the end, he did lose the residence and had to sublet in Sonsa because he really liked the residence, and he had to stay there by subletting the year after that.
Actually, I intended you as Milab because we got some students addressing this problem because obviously having some kind of credits in February is sometimes it's a big deal for some students, for some kind of students. We know that Bocconi University does it for merit because we know that we should maintain the mix, merit and need. But I would have liked to know how you wanted to address this kind of problem. If you thought about, I don't know, doing something about this. And then I wanted also to know something about a clear answer on credits, how to help students maintaining the benefits, given that sometimes credits are a really tough matter in terms of maintaining the scholarships. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of examples that I can provide. And everything seems to be really confusing. Also, I wanted to tell you that as an ISU scholarship eligible students, they sent us some information via email regarding deadlines and things like that. And also that we, as Astra, were thinking about giving students some information with info points around the campus on scholarship in order to get them in touch with all the kind of benefits that Bocconi offers them. Also for international students that sometimes tell us that they don't know about scholarships.
So as I was saying before, since this is an issue that students are facing from different courses, of course, in the residences, there are students that come from very different courses. We could ask to the university that a database saying which percentage from each course loses the residence because of the not accumulation, the lack of accumulation of needed credits. So maybe that way we could have a clear overview of, okay, CLAM students face more difficulty, BI students usually manage to keep the residence. Of course, it's a hard work and should be done across different years, because if you get just 1 year, you might be having just 4 students from BMATs in a residence. So maybe analyzing the data from different years, maybe, I don't know, 5 years straight, could be useful to understanding what courses face more problems and address each one of these in a different way, because of course students studying BM does not have the same exams as someone studying BI. So then you can communicate to the specific student, okay, you have these credits, you need to reach these credits, be careful, maybe, this exam is coming up, you really have to take it. And in case we observe there's a real struggle with getting to that point, to the credits, we should definitely ask the university as a committee to lower the number of credits needed to keep the residents, of course. But before asking that, I think there should be a breakdown.